everyone. Thank you for attending the Collegiate Athletic Process presentation. My name is Tyler Kastner, and I am currently the Madison Metropolitan School District NCAA liaison. And what that means is I am working with school counselors, athletic directors, coaches on the process of maintaining for students the eligibility, academically, recruiting, anything like that can enhance the opportunities for your student to attend college and play athletics, all right? So I was working this year with mainly school counselors and coaches and athletic directors. Hopefully next year I'll get to work a little bit more with individual students, and I'm looking forward to meeting some of you next year, regardless of if it's face-to-face or over video. So hopefully we'll get to do that. All right, the presentation today will cover various topics ranging from each grade level, 9th through 12th. And we will be discussing mainly the tasks that you need to start thinking about in each grade level to hopefully enhance your opportunities beyond high school to play in college. So we'll go through this presentation. It'll be a brief presentation for you, but hopefully it'll get you to start thinking about certain things, okay? All right, first and foremost, we'll talk about a little bit about COVID considerations. And what that means is that what I'm talking about, many schools, universities, and colleges are losing certain athletic programs due to lost revenue. Without in-person or live sports, they're losing a lot of revenue and having to make the difficult decision to cut certain programs, all right? So what that means for you is I want you to keep all your options on the table as long as possible, all right? That means I know a lot of you would love to attend a D1 or D2 school, but sometimes the D3 NAIA and NJCAA just make a better case for you as far as being a better choice. And so I don't want you to cut or eliminate certain programs just because you're not interested in the level or you're not interested in the college at this point. You never know when that college you may be dreaming of cuts a program or due to something, unforeseen. So you want to make sure that you're keeping all other stakeholders happy as well. You want to make sure that you're keeping everything and anything on the table so you have those choices later on. Always have a backup plan just in case your plan A doesn't work. All right, so we're gonna move on from there and talk about 9th grade. All right, so for those of you in 9th grade, all right, start the conversation about planning during and after high school. And what this means is sit down with your family and discuss what are some goals you wanna have during high school. So academically, do you wanna take rigorous courses? Which courses do you wanna take? What's your interests, all right? Like if you're interested in computers, so look at AP Computer Science, right? Like you wanna take certain classes that may look really nice for one, college admissions, and then two, your academic eligibility. So making sure that you're taking courses that are rigorous in nature. Plan how you're going to get there. Athletically, first and foremost, if you're playing, as a freshman and you're on the freshman team or the JV team, you want to make sure that like a goal should be obviously playing varsity. All right. After that, what are your individual goals that you want to achieve? All right. So come up with kind of like a game plan for your 4 years athletically. What kind of goals or, records do you want to have individually for yourself? And then lastly, what kind of extracurriculars do you want to have beyond just athletics? So start thinking of some different areas that you want to kind of, maybe venture into or start working with and getting a better resume overall to, give to a college for college admissions, all right? Secondly, one of the other important things that you need to know is where to find your 48H list of core classes. This is for NCAA Division I and II. If you are hopefully dreaming of playing Division I or Division II, you need to know where this list is because you have to take courses on this list to achieve academic eligibility to play Division I or II. The schools I have listed below are all the 4 high schools in Madison and the ACT code. You will need to have the ACT code of your school to find this list of 48H. You will go to eligibilitycenter.org. You'll type in the ACT code and it will give you a list by subject of the courses that you can take to qualify academically just with your courses, all right, for each individual high school for NCAA Division I and II. All right, you need to make sure that you're taking challenging courses and qualifying academically. Taking the challenging courses are going to allow you to gain admission into the school. That is probably the most important thing you can do because you can always qualify academically for NCAA, but you may not qualify admissions-wise to get into the school. So you need to be looking at taking challenging courses, honors, AP, things like that. Okay, but find this list and take courses on that list. All right. Freshmen also earn best grades possible in all subjects, especially those core courses. You will be taking some of those courses on the 48H for your school as freshmen. There's no way around it. You're going to take English, math, science, history, most likely, maybe a world language as a freshman. All of those count for NCAA Division I and II academic eligibility, okay? So make sure that you're earning your best grades possible. If you're earning your best grades possible in core courses, you're setting up a really good foundation for sophomore year. And most likely, most of those courses anyway are graduation courses anyway. So you, first and foremost, you have to graduate high school for any level, Division I, II, III, NAIA, or NJCAA. So this is setting you up for sophomore, junior, and senior year by getting those best grades possible. All right, then take your 9th grade standardized test seriously to gauge where you stand for the ACT. All right, you want to kind of take the pre-ACT or SAT and just see where you are. See what, what subjects you're really strong in, and you can kind of build on that. And then what subjects you're a little weaker in, and where you can kind of like get tutoring or get some help yourself, improve kind of your chances to get an overall really good score. All right, start working on adjusting your overall resume. And I talked about this a little earlier, but start working on those extracurriculars that are non-athletic, okay? And that means like volunteering in the community or getting a part-time or full-time job. You're basically kind of building a resume. It's like a job, kind of a job resume for college admissions. You want to make sure that the college is looking at you and saying, oh, they're not just an athlete who does really well. They're an athlete, plus they're involved in the community, and they're doing a lot of good things in the community. We want that student because they're going to bring a lot to our campus, okay? So you're building that. So start freshman year. They want to see that you're going to do 4 years of some sort of volunteer service as well, okay? All right, for sophomores, adjust the plan for high school and beyond and create a list of schools for both athletics and academics. And what this means is we want to make sure that we're starting to create that list now of colleges and universities that you're wanting to go to. It should be at each level. You should have something athletically that you think you can fit into. And if you're not sure, or you're, unsure of like if you can hit the D1 level, then just leave it at D2 and down, or D3 and down. That's absolutely fine. You can always, this list is going to be flexible. You can change the list as you kind of see fit due to circumstances. Academically, same thing. When you're taking rigorous courses, which colleges can you get into? What are your, what we talk about, your reach, safety, match schools, things like that. Like, so start working on a list. It doesn't have to be cohesive with both, lists, but start working on a list for both of those. Continue earning the best grades possible in all subjects. We'll continue to harp on that. That's obviously super important. You want to get 2 years under your belt to build that strong foundation for junior and senior year. And then by the end of 10th grade year, you should register for an eligibility center account. If you are a varsity player as a sophomore, you should definitely register for the eligibility center account if you want to play Division I or II athletics. All right. It does cost, I think, around $100 to register. So you want to make sure that you're ready, with the payment on hand and things like that. If you are eligible for a fee waiver, you can also request one from your school counselor. They can punch it into the system if you are eligible. Okay. So by the end of 10th grade year, you should be doing that. If you're not a varsity player and you're unsure if you're going to play D1 or D2, it is okay to just kind of wait on it and not register until you're for sure looking at that D1 or D2 level. You will go to eligibilitycenter.org and create your registration account. Okay, take any 10th grade standardized test seriously to gauge where you stand for the ACT or SAT. It just means basically the same thing as freshman year. You have one more year before the final test, before the big, the big ACT day. And so you want to make sure that you are really taking into consideration where your strengths and weaknesses are with each subject. All right, NCAA Division I and II, in addition to NAIA, I'll take your ACT or SAT score, and they'll kind of break it down to figure out if you will be eligible for the full ride athletic scholarship or a full qualifier, partial qualifier, etc. All right. Make up any courses that are needed for graduation immediately. You want to make sure that you are taking courses and making them up. So if you have any courses that you need for graduation, that is obviously the most important. If you are looking at the Division I level, it's the only rule for Division I. Division II, III, NAIA, and NJCAA do not have this rule. You will lock in 10 of your core courses after summer of junior year. So you need to make up any courses you failed or any courses that you want to get a better grade in. Those need to be in the system by the end of the summer of your junior year. Okay, that's for Division I if you're looking at that level. Okay, you still need to make up those graduation credits immediately because you don't want to be playing catch up as a senior and junior. But you need to make sure that you are taking courses and getting those locked in, especially for if you are a Division I athlete, okay? Make sure you have at least 10 core courses. This is for juniors, and they fit with the required subjects for NCAA eligibility. This is what I just talked about. All right, so at the end of the summer of junior year, NCAA, once they get your official transcript, will basically break it down, and they lock in the 10 best grades you have. So if you didn't make those classes up and you're going into senior year, or you have low grades and you have to count those, they count them. You cannot change those. The old rule used to be you can change those in and out. You cannot change the 10 that NCAA locks in. Okay? Take the ACT and SAT and obtain the highest score possible. Easier said than done, obviously. Take it easy. Try to take a deep breath. I know it's hard, but this is a good time to relax and take the ACT and SAT and just, score the highest score possible you can and know that you worked really hard to get there. Okay? This is obviously for both of those eligibility standards. For college admissions, obviously the composite ACT score is really important. And then also for eligibility for NCAA Division I and II, they're going to look at all 4 of your subject tests on the ACT and add them together. And that will help calculate your academic eligibility with your core course GPA. Okay, and then if you are looking at NAIA schools, you can register for that at myplay.naia.org. Just go in there and register for an account, and you can also grab a fee waiver from your school counselor, and they'll submit that for you. Okay? All right, after junior year, you should have your NCAA school lead or registrar or school counselor send an official transcript to the eligibility center. They have to have an official transcript on hand to start breaking down your eligibility. This speeds up the process when you're a senior, so you can start summer practices, things like that. So you want to make sure that you do send one after junior year. All right, and discuss with your counselor, family. I would also put in there the collegiate options available to you to make up any courses for graduation or to improve upon grades. You want to obviously make sure you do this before the end of summer, before you start your senior year. Okay, and then when scheduling classes for 12th grade, know and choose core courses as electives. You want to make sure that you're picking core classes on that 48H list. There are a lot of AP and honors courses on there, so make sure you're challenging yourself for college admissions, and then also that you're doubling up kind of that Division I or II standard by taking those core courses as well for your school. All right, 12th grade, congratulations, you made it. All right, develop and implement a plan of action for completing college applications and supplementary material. All I would love for you guys to do is just basically come up with a timeline of when you're gonna, when each and every college application you're gonna submit, when are their deadlines, when are there early decisions, early actions, things like that. When are you going to complete the application? When are you going to get your personal essays ready, your, letters of recommendation, your supplementary essays, things like that? When is all that going to be completed for senior year? So develop that plan of action before you go into senior year. It is super busy. You don't want to be messing around with like, oh, did I submit this? Did I submit this? No, you have a checklist. You've gotten it all kind of under control. All right, take as many required and elective core courses as you can. We talked about this earlier, so make sure you're doing that. You want to make sure that you're taking as many core courses as possible. As long as you are, on track for graduation, that's obviously the first and foremost thing you need to do that's important. And then lastly, we talk about completing the FAFSA as early as possible. Make sure that you complete your FAFSA. Every student athlete needs to complete the FAFSA. Even though you may be getting a full ride scholarship or you're getting grants and awards from a certain university, you need to make sure you complete the FAFSA. You never know when you're going to get free money, and if you do get free money, that's fantastic. So make sure that you are completing the FAFSA as early as possible. Plus, you don't want to wait till the end. So if the federal or state runs out of money, you're not able to get, the grants or awards that they give you. So you want to make sure October, when it opens up, you want to go October, November, December, somewhere in there, you should be finalizing your FAFSA and having that complete. All right, and then lastly for seniors, take that SAT or ACT again if necessary, all right? If you feel like your first score wasn't really good, I would recommend taking it again. There's no harm in taking it twice. A lot of people take it twice. Submit your score. If you feel comfortable in submitting it for free colleges, go for it. My recommendation sometimes is usually just wait, see what you get, and then submit it. Especially if you're kind of unsure where you're gonna land or what you're gonna get. So you can always send it after you receive the score back. I know it does cost an extra, I think like $12 to send it to a college or to the NCAA, but it does help kind of take a little bit of pressure off, knowing that the score is not going to be submitted right away. You get to see what it is, and then if it is better, great. You get to send it, and it'll hopefully improve your chances of college admissions. All right. Update any information in the Eligibility Center portal and complete amateur certification. You should be doing this anyway, so anytime you move personal records, things like taking a failed course over and doing that, you should be updating that every year. And then you're going to check a button for amateur certification. Basically in April, it opens up and just states that you didn't get paid to play in high school. All right, after graduation date posts on official transcript, ask your school registrar, NCAA lead to download the official transcript to Eligibility Center. This just means that you're going to send your official transcript with a graduation date posted to the Eligibility Center for them to finalize your academic eligibility. And at this point, it should just be kind of a quick process. They just need to break down your senior year and make sure that you took everything you needed and you align with all of the academic requirements, okay? But it has to be an official transcript with a graduation date, so make sure that's on there when you send it. All right, and then lastly, where can you go for help? High school coaches, athletic directors have great resources. Please utilize them. They have connections in the college world. They know what they're talking about as far as your athletic ability, and they can really assist you in kind of developing a good game plan of which schools may be best fit for you athletically. Academically, they can take a look at that stuff and help you out kind of a little bit on that as well. So they're great resources. Please utilize them. And then school counselors and teachers obviously could help with, personal, like editing personal essays, looking at, your letters of rec to make sure that they align with where they need to be, or college application deadlines, FAFSA, things like that. So please utilize them also. And with all four of these, you can definitely utilize them at the same time and get, all your tasks done. So hopefully you can utilize this next year in person, but if not, utilize those video calls and things like that. And I hope you got something out of the presentation. I hope you can start working on this. This is a perfect time to do it over the summer, to start working on your lists and timelines and things like that. All right. So thank you for tuning in with this, and I hope you guys have a really great rest of the day.